What's going on, everybody? My first live. My first live. How's everyone doing? How is everyone? Let me see if I can get this right. Hey, Issa. Peace, peace. You and Chief X are definitely schooling me in the chat. Is my volume okay? Let me know if my volume is okay. Hey, Love Passy. How are you? How's it going? Volume good? Good. Shabo, did I see you comment earlier? I think you were saying, what did you say? Write it again. What's going on, education and learning? Our boy is back at it again. Hey, Candy Girl. Back selling stuff. I thought that he had stopped. I thought what happened with the webcaster guy? Didn't he say the website was down? So how are people paying for these new classes? I'm going to show you guys. Give me a second. Let me pull it up so you guys can see. So, and today is believe it or not, today is Amunet's birthday. Hey, Black family, I'm doing good. How are you? Hey, Tony. Yes, they all know the cheat codes. But today is Amunet's birthday. And I was kind of surprised that Polight didn't post any birthday posts to her at all. Now they were together last night. I have a video because actually now he's been doing her story. So he's been on her page under her stories holding the phone. Interesting. Let me see. That's good. Oh, thank you everyone for all the birthday wishes. I had such a good time. I slept. I'm gonna be honest. I really just slept all day, every day. That's why I was putting out videos like 4 o'clock in the morning. I day drank just a little bit. I did. And I'm an old lady. I know I am because I passed out. Like I had 3 glasses of champagne and then at 6 o'clock I had my pajamas on. And at 1 o'clock in the morning I was back up again. But now we gotta get back ready for the week. The birthday is over. All right, let me pull up this video for you guys. So I knew that the Rolls Royce Diaries would be coming back soon enough. And just check this out. Check this out.
Hey, y'all keep asking me how I make this bread. I'm telling you, sign up for my CRM, Credit Reservation Microwave. I'm selling it for $2,000 only, and you'll get access to over $100,000 in credit as well. You'll be able to cash it out, and all your credit scores will be lit. And I'm talking about more than TransUnion, Experian, Equifax, and FICO, because you got more than those 4 credit scores out there, contrary to most people's beliefs. Talk to me nice. I love my life, but the door is suicide. You know when you're at this level, it's a built-in chauffeur when you're in a $400,000 car. Fuck is they talking about?
That I don't know why that is just so funny to me. Number one, because if you play it back slow, that car is definitely in a parking lot, real tight in a parking lot. Like you have to either get valet to get it out because they have to move another car. But secondly, that he's back on it, like really selling as if people don't see what's going on around him. He's very strange. Yeah, he's very, very strange. But like I said, they were in the club last night, but he's on Aminette's story, so he's not posting this on his stories, but he didn't post her today at all for her birthday. Let me pull that one up.
This two presidents motherfucker, turn lights off. God damn, it's going up in here. It's going up in here.
They outside or whatever. All the way outside. Okay. Okay. Yes. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Outside.
Yeah. Yeah, just what do you guys think about this strange behavior? Like all of a sudden, so he goes dark. He doesn't address the webcaster, the guy, the webmaster guy. He's not addressing this case. Unbothered? Is it unbothered or is it master of distraction? Yeah, fake it till you make it. Fake it till you make it. But I also think that, so remember, in the next couple of days, I think it's like somewhere, it says 15 days unless there's a continuance or something filed, but in the next couple of days he'll be filing his discovery and whether he'll be calling witnesses or not. So, and then I feel like every time, right when court is about to happen or right when something big is about to happen, is when he really shows off. And that lawyer may have typed, the discovery, but said, I'm not going to print it and send it until you pay the rest of this retainer. Even though that law firm, they do work on a payment plan type of style. And I said, for Polight to have all this money, what I found interesting is in his case, he used, yep, 25th. Okay. So in his case, he used, three different bail bondsmen to get out. So the first time, the first bond he made, there's two different bail bondsmen on that. And then the third time, that final time we just saw, there's another bondsman and it's a lady. She actually owns like a truck company. She's pretty dope. I was like, oh yeah, she got a trucking company, a bail bonds company. She on her money. But with Jam Master Jay, he paid 25K out cash and said bye bye to them. So I found it interesting, the millionaire billionaire, you know. I wanted to answer a few questions while I was on here. I wanted to do the ones that I remembered first. So let me see. I'm about to share my screen. Um, this one. Okay. So remember when we went through the witness list? Someone asked me a good question. These letters next to their names, what does that mean? So you see A, C, A. So at the bottom of the page, it was really small, so you probably didn't see it in the video. It had a key. So A, anyone with the A next to their name, they're an essential witness and they can be deposed. B is subject to deposition, leave a court good cause. C, cannot be deposed. E, expert slash essential witness can be deposed. F, expert slash subject to deposition, leave of court, good cause. S, witness to statement by co-defendant. They're none that they have listed. T, expert witness to statement by co-defendant. I don't think they have any listed for that one. And this final one, AS, category A, witnesses who were present when a statement was made by the defendant. They don't have any for that either. So what you see most of is A and C. So here's an example. Next to Alberto Gonzalez, you see that there's a C. So that means that he cannot be deposed. He is a sergeant with Miami Beach Police Department. And this is one reason why he wouldn't be deposed. So you see the body worn cameras, you know, that's Gutierrez, Pedro, Silk, Cordoba. We went over that before. He is the sergeant that, let me see. Gonzalez is the sergeant that signed off on it. So he wouldn't necessarily have firsthand information, which is why he cannot be deposed. He is taking the sworn statement of one of his officers that has taken the sworn statement of the victim, and so on and so forth. So hopefully that answers your question. Let me see if there's any other. Do I have a degree in journalism or communications? Oh, thank you. Um, I work in communications, and I actually own a nonprofit where we work with girls and boys that deal with trauma, specifically mental health issues contributed by social media consumption, because social media is a really big contributing factor to them committing suicide. So, yeah, in a way. No, I don't have a communications degree. I've thought of it so many times, but then once you get into communications, you realize that it's just a people skill thing over what they teach you. What's going on, Shug? Thank you for the dance party. I enjoyed your live earlier today. It's pretty crazy out here in these YouTube streets. I was gonna go live with my camera tonight, and I was like, no, it's kind of crazy out here, Angie. Stay in the cut. Stay in the cut. What do you think about the? What do you guys think about the Grandmaster J indictment, and how much the FBI is really coming after him? Now, I do think that when you put yourself in the spotlight, you put yourself at risk. And Grandmaster J, I hope I didn't say Jam Master, but Grandmaster J has been the master of media in a way of getting its attention. And I think he may have gotten some attention that you usually don't go looking for, because when the FBI is involved in a wanton endangerment case, in a case where you're just brandishing a weapon, you know that there's more there. But when I think about it, that video I showed of Polight, like at the club, and how nonchalant he is, he may be gearing up to tell on a few people, even if it's scamming, white collar, something of interest with a settlement. Do I think that they have a video evidence that upon someone checking into the morning? I don't think that they have a video. I mean, they could. They could. The only reason is when they didn't put someone from the wait, the Fontainebleau. The Fontainebleau is where Linda and her daughter were staying. I don't think that they have a video there, only because I felt like they would have a witness too. That front desk person that was working, the valet person, something like that. So that made me feel like, okay, did this happen in the room? And then maybe he'd leave, and then she called, because a 911 call did happen. She didn't just like get in an Uber and go to the hospital. I feel like the Mondrian is like the epicenter of everything. I think that's where the footage is going to come in. They're probably going to show how the minor TS was when she walked in, how she was when she walked out. They're probably going to really show that. But you never know. You never know. Then I don't feel like they're going to show all their cars, though they have to tell the defendant. They are coming into things every day. Mm-hmm. Grandmaster J is in Morse World TV. I didn't see that. Put the link in, Lady Ace. Yeah, Issa. These cases, one is federal and one is state. And the FBI, that's why the FBI is furnishing these documents to that Kentucky case, because if you pause the video, and I'm going to upload the documents, I got to figure out how, maybe in a Google Doc, you'll see that those redacted FBI files. Some of them say Ohio. Some of them say Alabama, Georgia. They have a bunch of different states that they're sending over. Thanks for the super chat, Shelton. Let me see. Man, no offense to my Jamaican friends, but Grandmaster Jay, it seemed like he got 18 jobs, man. Like, jeez. Because he was a DJ. No disrespect to the brother. He was a DJ, and then he was a minister escorting Walter Scott's mother to the funeral. I actually have that picture of him in his minister clothes with the white collar escorting her to the funeral. Zion Lexus and communication possibly be. Maybe Candy Girl. I mean, they say they have video. I'll have to go back and look at that evidence list if they had. Well, they said cell phones, so that could be multiple persons' cell phones, and we'll have to see. State has 10 days before trial to hand over all their discovery. Well, in Grandmaster Jay's case, they first filed December 2nd. Then, like in January, he filed a motion to dismiss because they never indicted him. And they kept filing for continuances on that, saying that it was more of a benefit to the community for them to be able to. And that's why those new charges say 224, because what they did was they converted the case and made it a new case. So on some of those documents, there's like several case numbers listed under it. You think that, okay, education and learning. Because there's this other guy that is always with Polight. He is a slim, brown skin. He looks like he's, black don't crack though. But he looks like he's like 23, 24 years old. And he's usually with Polight. That's who's recording most of Polight's videos. Oh, let me play the video again since there's a few more people in here that I played of Polight back at it, selling his CRM classes. You have to order and you have to book your class via Cash App. You have to send a Cash App now because, yes, we all got the notice that the website has been hacked, but his Cash App has not been hacked.
Y'all keep asking me how I make this bread. I'm telling you, sign up for my CRM, Credit Reservation Microwave. Selling it for $2,000 only, and you'll get access to over $100,000 in credit as well. You'll be able to cash it out, and all your credit scores will be lit. And I'm talking about more than TransUnion, Experian, Equifax, and FICO, because you got more than those 4 credit scores out there, contrary to most people's beliefs. Talk to me nice. I love my life, but the thought of suicide. You know, when you're at this level, it's a built-in chauffeur when you're in a $400,000 car. Fuck is they talking about?
Okay, so this is an unbiased opinion for real to show I'm not a hater. His style is horrible. I don't know where he gets it from. It's horrible. I mean, I get it when you don't come from money, but I think he's had money. He's attained money long enough that it shouldn't be new money anymore to him. And he acts real new money. Now, I can't lie. That door closing, that looked good. Now, that door looked good. But him, I really just can't get. And a lot of people ask me, why did I start my channel? And it was really his arrogance, and it had triggered the story. I was familiar with Brother Polight, but like I said, I work with kids that face trauma, and we talk about rape, and I talk about it with their parents. And with kids, they really see it in this way of Law and Order SVU, the movies, like Snatched Up in the Alley. And it's hard for them to reconcile sometimes that it's the person that is the nicest to you, the kindest to you, the person that you trust the most that betrays you. And then when that trauma occurs, sometimes that mother or father, the parents, they can't even really have the conversation with their child because they have a layer of guilt themselves. So everybody kind of pushes on a little bit. What was triggering for me with Polight was his arrogance about it. Like this is something heavy that if any normal person was accused of, that you would either, I would understand going silent because like I said, I work in communication, so I do understand letting the story go. But to be so arrogant and to delineate this young girl, and then to have people continuously saying that it's a he said, she said, and then me just being a consumer, uh, trying to listen to the information. But, when we talk about black and brown people, we're not really important enough to be on the news, to be on stuff like court TV. It has to be salacious. So that's why all of us go to our corners of YouTube to get this information about what's going on in our community. So when I was getting that information, I love everyone, but I couldn't watch like 6 7 hour lives just to get the information, because then I spend 6 7 hours after that trying to research it to make sure that I have the right information. So it was like, you know what? Let me create a place. And when he threatened YouTubers, like, I'm gonna sue you, I was like, oh yeah. Oh, yeah, you're going to threaten people. Not only are you going to be arrogant, you're going to threaten people that want to talk about it. Okay. Well, guess what? We'll just talk about the facts. I'll give my opinion, but create an open space where everyone can have an opinion. And you can't sue me because everything I do, that's why I make sure I maintain my integrity and I do my research and I don't delete comments. So then the dialogue is here because he's not saying anything. There's a lot of people that made up a lot of excuses for him. But now, as these things are coming out, it's real hush hush. People real distracted all of a sudden. I mean, he said he was going out with a group of people, right? They were going to originally, like, they were going to dinner downstairs or something like that. For all of those people that were saying that this was a he said, she said, and that she may have seduced him, if you want to counter the paperwork and the facts that I'm bringing to the table, then ask any one of his associates that were supposedly meeting them down for lunch to vouch for, I mean, for dinner, to vouch for it. Because honestly, me, I know all of their names. I know who his graphic designer is. I know all of their names, and all of them are mum. All of them are quiet. So until someone can counter it with facts and not just opinions, or trying to put a woman down, because honestly, I can only say what I would do in that situation. I can't really judge what someone else would do unless I thought that she was fully negligent. And in her reaction, I can't consider her fully negligent because she made the wrong decision. And in the moment when she recognized the consequences of her decision, she took action. So, I try to be fair about that. Let me see. He doesn't look at what he's done as being something bad. But why? Is it this layer of that adulthood conversation that I hear about at 12 and 14? And you guys can come up here if you, I got to put the link out. I told you guys I'm new to this. Okay, hold on. Copy. Hold on. Yeah, the tire change that I need. It's all part of his defense strategy. If you go to his lawyer's website, he gives a play by play. Yes, Shabo, you are absolutely right. And that's why I said in that video I did breaking down the lawyer. This lawyer, this is what he does. He does pedophiles, pornography rings. This is what he does. So this is going to be something that I think that he'll probably give Polight a better defense than Polight has given himself in public or any of his associates have given him. Hey Renee. Yep, he can't sue facts. Yeah, yeah, but that's like okay, so remember I made a comment and this may trigger some people. So I made the comment about Queen Afua in one of the videos, and I said that, and I've read one of her books, and I said that where is she in the community, and is there a woman that brings that, when stuff like that happens, even us discussing the issue with Renente, is there this, I don't have to be privy to the conversation, but is she considered a female elder that the girls or anyone can go to? Like, who can a person go to? That was my question. Who is the female elder in Polight's atmosphere? Is it Amunet? Yeah. Ah, okay. Okay, Shabo. Hey, Tony. His lawyer hasn't lost the case. His lawyer, and he's new to that firm, but the lawyer's office, even though it's a defense firm, Rawson, I think, was a prosecutor for like over 10 years. So he already knows what the prosecution is going to come with. And I hope that some of my videos even help, visually break down all of that, do their light work for them. You're gonna need me to rap something one day. I think I'm a rapper in my shower. Yeah, he's walking around free. But why do you guys think that he didn't post Amunet for her birthday? It seems like the wives are also distancing themselves more and more from him. Everyone's going really quiet. I think that December 3rd, I haven't seen another motion to dismiss, because he could have filed another motion to dismiss even after that second arraignment. And actually, that first, because he filed a motion to dismiss initially, but it's literally one piece of paper. It's one sentence that I said when I saw it, and that's why I didn't even put it in my video. When I saw it, I said, I wonder, has Polight seen this? Like, he's paying these people, but I wonder, has he seen some of the stuff that they write? Because some of it is foolala. They know that it's going to trial, but they get paid with every printout, with every letter. So some of it is like, fuckery, for lack of a better word. How can now? I want to say, okay, so let me say this. I always wanted to give the women the benefit of the doubt. Don't shoot me. I'm just that type of person. Even though, like, I have this anger towards them, because how can you sit back and allow this to go on? How can you not, as a woman, be able to give your man a tap on the shoulder and say, hold on, let's rein this in? What is going on here? Like, that part. But then when I saw that video, okay, I'm going to play it again, of him and Amunet tonight, I was really irritated by even her behavior. Like, ugh.
They outside or whatever. All the way outside. Okay. Okay. Yes. Yes. Yeah. Okay. We outside.
Fuck that, talk like I'm over for that. It's two presidents, motherfucker. Something like that. It's two presidents, motherfucker. Something like that. It's two presidents, motherfucker. Something like that. God damn, it's going up in here.
Yeah, yeah, you see that? Yeah, she was a child, but now she's an adult. And we have all been through things in our lives, right? Um Sometimes our children would never even believe the things in the life that we live. That's how you know you've done a good job. When your kids don't believe that you know what you know, you've done a good job. But she's an adult now. And at a minimum, that's why I said I could understand him just being silent, but to be outwardly arrogant about it, and then prior to that, a lot of women enjoyed him, enjoyed what he was talking about. They were like the standard of a polygamous family. And now, where are all those values? Let me bring Quizmatic. Hey, Quizmatics.
Hey, Miss Angie Snatch, how are you this evening?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Fantastic. I've been following you for a little while now, and I just want to say thank you for the phenomenal job you've been doing at bringing us this information to the public. Um,
Thank
I was
you.
particularly very delighted when I watched your, I think you did a live stream where you were revealing the the information pertaining to the prosecution witness list and a
Hmm.
follow up on that. And there are other YouTubers who bring information as far as like the legal side of things, but I honestly think that that was hands down far and away the most brilliant um, series of information. So I just want to make sure you get your flowers while you're still here, Angie,
Oh,
because
thank you.
I am I'm really a huge hate to use the word fan, but well, I might as well. A huge fan of your work. Um,
So, what did you think of the witness list and the evidence? What do you think that says? What do you think about it?
I mean, Stevie Wonder could see that Mr. Polight is he's in an uphill battle, and you know, I've just been shocked at the arrogance that he's shown as far as revealing all of these videos and all of these um the threats that he's been, hurling at people online. Meanwhile, he also wants to be a public figure. You know, with part of the responsibility, like for example, when you sign up for the NBA, you know, there's a certain level of your privacy that you give up at that particular point, and so you can't have your cake and eat it too, Mr. Polite. So, in relation to the problem that he has, is that the prosecution is not they're not hinging their case on a particular person. They're hinging their case on forensics, forensic information.
Yeah.
That is uh, even according to what Polite would say. He did an interview with York's son, where he said even if they presented information about Dr. York that you would say was irrefutable, well, in this case, they have information against him that's going to be pretty irrefutable. So he's got a pretty tough case, and if I were him, I would pretty much worry or be concerned that there might not be additional charges that were thrown at him. So the information that you shared in relation to the um, the um, the prosecution witness list is pretty straightforward. I mean, they're coming with information, everything from what we didn't know was that there was a 911 call. I'm interested to hear how that materializes,
Hmm.
and and then of course, you know, the fact that we do know that there was a rape kit that was performed.
And
There
we
were
didn't know. We didn't know. I don't know. If maybe you knew. I didn't know that there was actually a crime scene sweep of his hotel room too.
right, exactly. You know, the funny thing is, I shared your video with some other people because I noticed that when you did your video, a lot of other people who've been following this case did not cover this information, and that's one of the main reasons I was like, let me get on here with Angie and give her flowers, because you know I've been sharing your information with other people, and it's the first time that they've been seeing it, and that is true. I thought that that was also pretty fascinating as well.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see if they have the hotel surveillance camera information as well.
Yeah, the Mondrian. That's where I'm assuming, because they could have I think it was Lady Ace or someone else that brought up that they'll have it from two hotel rooms. I mean two both of the hotels. Possibly.
Well, yeah, possibly, but remember that according to well, according to Polight or whatever, he was trying to bring them to a group of women or something like that. So maybe if he if they did go down to the
To the
lobby,
restaurant thing, and then they
yeah,
went to the hotel. But then the other thing, the 911 call that they have listed in the evidence, that is going to be really interesting because there could also be background noise. Can you hear if Polite's in the background? If the is she in the room with the daughter? All of that is going to really be revealed through that call. Is her voice panicked? Is she angry?
right. And then also, who made the 911 call? I
Yeah.
mean, I'm assuming that it was made probably by the mother. Um, so we'll see
Yeah,
that.
I'm assuming too, because in that police report it says, but against his wishes she did. Like in the police report, he tells her it would ruin his career, and she says against his wishes is why she reported it, and that's the same
Right.
night. So I'm gonna assume so, but
I'm
we
assuming so as well. Yeah. Another thing I also wanted to add is because when you brought me on, you were just talking right before I came up on here. You were talking a little bit about the wives, and
Mhm.
when this information at first started coming out, you have a lot of these people who start immediately going and attacking the parent,
Yeah.
or in my opinion, this is something that is happening more in society. We have a lot of people who like to go into victim shaming, blaming the victim, and remember that this is one of the reasons why a lot of people who are victims of rape and things of this nature, sometimes they don't feel comfortable to come forward. So I think that we
Mhm.
need to kind of be a little bit more evolved as society. But from what we're seeing, I mean, being that the mother, one, did not go along with Polight when he um, tried to dissuade her from contacting authorities, and what she did immediately following finding out what happened to her child. I think all of those are the things that are the right things to do. And if she didn't make that strong stance to defend her child,
Then it would be a different story, right?
and this activity would continue to go on. And who's to say how long this activity has not been going on? These alleged actions, anytime you see situations like this where you're dealing with a grown man, um, having allegations against them, going against a underage child, don't believe it's the first time it's happened. People do not believe that it's the first time it's happened.
Yeah.
So the beautiful thing is that now it's out in the open, it's in the public, and if this is the type of behavior that's been going on, hopefully it prevents any further actions of this nature continuing. In the meantime, um, I think that Polite has he has his work cut out for him, and I don't think that those Rolls Royce diaries are going to be serving his best interest when it's all said and done.
Yeah, he's gonna have to do a lot of them. Thank you, Cosmetics. Let me bring Issa in here. You can stay on if you want, though.
All right, thanks, Angie.
All right. Hey,
Oh,
Issa.
peace, sister. How you doing?
Am I
Um,
saying your name right first? Correct me. I hate.
you're saying it right. Unless you're
Okay.
from the deep south when they call me Isa.
No,
But
no.
one of the things that comes to mind, and speaking of these 911 calls or tapes, is if you read the narrative from the police report and the speculation around that, I think that Poor Light put out in regards to the victim, that she had took drugs or something like that, or was intoxicated. Well,
Mm.
the question is, if he was, I don't see any defense into the whole scenario, because why didn't he call 911 at that point if she had did some type of drug while she was in his custody? You know what I mean? If he
It,
was, if he wasn't guilty of anything. So that doesn't ring true that he was just trying to help her and she did something stupid on her own. I think the narrative and the whole story, without the forensic evidence, it puts him in a bad light, looks guilty. But with the forensic evidence, I think it's a no brainer that I don't see where he could weasel his way out of this charge.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I think that that's why it's important for it that the information is out there because of that narrative. Like it's making people question. But when you look at the forensics, it's like, okay, even if he felt like that as her father figure, as you said, why wouldn't you contact the police and contact her mother?
Yeah.
But I
All right.
think that part of the witness list too, from what I think they're trying to make it so strong to kind of protect TS from having to actually take the stand.
Yeah, and what I learned in criminal justice, a lot of these pedophiles, um, that's one of the things that they bet on, that the victim will be so traumatized that they will not be able to take the stand effectively. And
Mm-hmm.
a lot of these pedophiles actually they go to trial. Some of them get joy out of sitting there listening to to the victim being there and facing them. But it's also a calculated risk that they take because they're so convinced that the victim will not make a good credible witness and be able to convict them. So
Mm-hmm.
this is something that they teach. I mean, you learn about in criminal justice. So it doesn't look good for him. And I hope the trial hurry up and happens quick so we could put this chapter away and
Yeah.
move on with other news.
Now, do you think that this will be a teachable moment for everyone in the community that, are married to the ideology that he has? Like they have things in common with him, which makes it hard for them to detach from the fact that he's done this, possibly, allegedly. Kind of
I
like
think I
the
think
black
that
man, putting the black man down. I mean, all of those things that are ingrained in us to make us naturally push back against something like this.
I think Polite benefits from that type of thought process that people have. But the thing is, um, if we see how his whole role in life escalated from being like a teacher of knowledge and transitioning from that into just going into some weird lifestyle changes, that does something to somebody's ego, to their mental. A lot of people that have practiced polygamy, that's one of the popular things that made it popular. They maintain a cultural and respectful manner with their family,
Mm.
and they don't put their wives out to expose themselves like he's Dolomite or something like that. You know what I mean? So I think the teachable moment, if people stop drinking the Kool-Aid, is that you could actually lose yourself with popularity if your ego's not checked. And I think we've seen this many times before in the community that many of the leaders have without having a check and balance, they might fall victim to their own ego.
Yeah, even as I listen to some of the, like, I don't know all about Dr. York, and because there's so many layers, but as I listen to that, I think I heard someone say before, but that's why I asked about Queen Afua. Like, who is that elder council? How do we create that? Even if it's in YouTube in our own sectors, how do we create that? Because that's part of what community is, right?
Yeah, I agree.
I think that I agree with all your points, Isa. I think that that's important. I do think that this is a teachable moment. I think it's also um, it's time for us as people in general to stop putting our faith into these false idols, false prophets. That's what they say biblically. It's a warning. And in regard to Dr. York, it's just ironic how the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, because Dr. York's ideology, as the father of this lineage of ideology, And the fact that he's behind bars right now, as we speak, facing life sentences over similar charges is just incredibly ironic. So um, hopefully people will be able to separate themselves from their belief system from the crimes that are being committed by individuals who we're entrusting to um, that that we're entrusting our children around. I think that's the bigger issue here. So hopefully
Yeah.
people can separate those two.
And having the conversations, like, but from a legal aspect, it just to touch on the Dr. York thing, I think that they're kind of almost using the strategic tactic in how this may flow because of that part in the evidence when it said assuming online personality. That is when you start getting into people's bank records, into their financial records. That's when you start getting that information because honestly, there's not much from assuming his online identity they could get to help them with this case because they
Yeah.
have the cameras, they have the forensic. That's just that extra little thing that kind of caught me off guard because once they assuming your online personality is not just your social media, your websites. We talking about when we grab our phones and we put our Apple ID in, when we I have the app Navy Federal on my phone, Apple Pay, all of that is your online presence.
Mm. I think a lot of people bring up the Dr. York case because it's a big case, and also Polight was always in the beginning of his career advocating the teachings of Dr. York. But I would say, and I'm pretty much abreast on the legal case of Dr. York. There's more evidence in Polight's case than there was in Dr. York's case. And what I
Agreed,
mean by
Isa.
that, say
Mm,
again, what
Agreed.
I mean by that, there was no forensic evidence in Dr. York's case at all,
hmm
and it was mostly testimony that was utilized to convict him. And the way his case was set up, it was over so many years. Um, I believe they were saying back to 1993, but it was over a course of years that you couldn't go back and do any forensics.
Oh,
Like
I
if
did see that. And I think one of the other differences, well, what I see as a difference is regardless of how that case, because Dr. York is behind bars at this moment, Polite is not even that big. He didn't build this community. They didn't
Right.
yes,
come hunting him
yes,
down. They weren't
Yes.
checking for you at all. You were some random guy, like a lot of people in Miami renting Rolls Royces. They didn't, know you. And even as I do my research, they don't know him, He's Michael Noack when I'm having conversations trying to get this information. Like he has a very inflated ego as well that has
yeah,
made him and the people that believe in him, we all should think we're great, but that have really made them believe that there is this hunt for him. Now I would
yeah,
believe it. Oh, I would believe it for Grandmaster Jay's case because he is such a polarizing figure over Polite.
that's a great point. A lot of his followers latch on to COINTELPRO, black leaders, but if you look at Polight's career, he doesn't fit that profile. He fits the profile of a con man.
A con man,
Um,
yep.
Mm-hmm.
he doesn't fit the profile of this great leader that was a revolutionary, building up the community.
He doesn't
And
scare them. He
no,
doesn't
mm-mm,
scare them.
Well,
no,
polite hasn't got to the point to build a big enough cult following, and I hate to use that word, but it's exactly what it is that we're talking about here. And the charges they have against Polite are definitely very much more documented, specifically around
Yeah.
this attack on his child, which with York they needed all this, but York admitted that's another thing, and I'd love to see if Polite goes down the same path, which I'm pretty sure he probably won't. But
I don't think he would admit it. I think if he did, there would be an immediate motion to seal that record. Like he would never want anyone to know. Tony Hayes in the chat actually had a good comment, and we should talk about it.
But I'm gonna say peace for now. I gotta get back
Okay.
to some things. It was a great show though.
All
Keep up
right.
the
Come
good work.
back to the chat. All right.
All right.
So Tony, oh, and actually, Quizmatics, I'm gonna drop you off because I want to show the witness list and those letters on the side. Again, I showed it earlier, but there's more people here, so I want to show that document real quick. But you can jump back on.
All right, thanks. Great program, Angie.
All right, thank you. Tony, I like your comment. The elders need to be accredited by the community to be on the council. But at this point, what community? Because it's a major division going on. Okay, so let me pull this up really quickly again. I had a question about something that was on the witness list that I did not share, that I should have shared. And it was a great question. So on the witness list, if you noticed, there is a letter next to each of the witnesses' names. So you see Eric Cordoba, we went over all of this. They have A's, and then Franklin Silk, C. At the bottom of the page, and it was hard to see in the video, I noticed because someone else said, what are those letters? So at the bottom of the page, there's a key to tell you what correlates with each witness. So A, essential witness, can be deposed, meaning that the defense can call them in and depose them. B, subject to deposition, leave of court, good cause. C, cannot be deposed. E, expert, essential witness, can be deposed. F, expert slash subject to deposition, leave of court slash good cause. The rest of these, they do not apply. I don't even think F is on there, but I'll still read them. S, a witness to the statement made by a co-defendant. He doesn't have a co-defendant. T, expert witness to statement by co-defendant. AS, category A, witnesses who were present when a statement was made by the defendant. They don't have any of that. Now, why would a person have an A or a C? So most of them will have an A because they're essential witnesses. If you'll see here, Alberto Gonzalez has a C. He is a sergeant. So in some of these, Timothy Hauser, he is a sergeant. So he wouldn't be deposed because, let me show you. So remember we looked at this. This is the body worn camera, that final page of the police report. So Eric Cordoba, I believe, wrote the police report up. And Alberto Gonzalez is the sergeant that signed off on it. So the reason why he wouldn't be deposed, because he wouldn't say anything beyond my detective, my officer, swore to this statement to be correct after their investigation, or their initial statement to be correct, and then he signs off on it. But beyond that, that's why he would not be a person that would be deposed. So hopefully I answered that question. See the chat. But if there aren't any more questions, guys, I'm going to get out of here because I have to cook dinner. I actually snuck down in the basement. I know it's 10 o'clock. Don't judge me. Everyone upstairs has been saying the same thing. When are you going to do it? When are you going to do it? And I've made them wait. So hopefully I answered most of your questions. And I actually am going to come back. There's a handwritten statement from the court clerk of the notes from the 17th when they went to court. So I'm going to upload that. All right, guys. See you later. Angie Snatch.